everyone, to another episode of AIME's Grow and Get It. I'm Tom Hollis, President of Growth here at AIME, your association for the independent mortgage expert. Today, I get to host, I would consider us friends. I love Paige. She's awesome. She's a ray of bright light in our industry, always, sharing things, leading by example, rooting on all the women in the Women's Mortgage Network. Her and my wife have became good friends too. But Paige is an awesome person. So Paige, thank you for being here today and joining us on our Grow and Get It episode.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, today I'm going to be talking about how to market yourself on Facebook, right? And how to niche. I always get screwed up with that word. Niche down. But we're going to talk a little bit about that. For those of you that don't follow Paige, look her up on Facebook or Instagram. She's always sharing things, at least for me, I find very interesting, right? And showing how she does things. I think she's an expert in organic marketing. And that's kind of what we're going to dive into today with Paige. So Paige, tell us, what is your secret to successful Facebook marketing?
All right. So I got a lot of stuff to share with you guys. Let me start with giving you just a little bit of background. So my hope is that if you're maybe don't feel like you could do this, that this might be inspiring for you. So number one, this is my only marketing strategy. This is all that I do. I don't pay for leads. I do not cold call. I do not pay for lead gen. It's just what I do on Facebook. I use the oldest processing system known to man, Calyx Point, and I do not have a CRM. So there is no system, there is no follow-up, there are no tools. I do not know how to edit videos. And usually this is about as best as I can do with lighting. It usually sucks. What I feel like I'm really good at is just showing up authentically me in social. I also have social anxiety. So that's why I don't do in-person stuff. I like it online because I am like socially kind of awkward, a little bit of anxiety around that. So if you feel like you look at people online, you're like, I could never do this. Trust me, I do this bootstrap from ground up with not a lot of tools. And what I love about using Facebook is it really helps you to build that know, like, trust factor. And people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And so when I share with you guys this information, if this doesn't resonate with you, that is fine. There are many paths to success. I'm a big believer that it's really going to be what you fall in love with doing. That's where you need to be, because it's all about that energy that you can bring to your business. And two, you got to do it long enough to have success. And so for me, cold calling is not it. One, because I don't like to hear no. And with cold calling, you got to hear no at least 10 times nowadays. 20 years ago, it was 7 times. I'm sure it's like 10, 15 times. I won't hang in there long enough to hear no. Cold calling, out. Like I shared with you guys, I'm also real awkward in person and social anxiety. So, like, in person networking, out. I have 0 realtor partners as well. So you can do this. You can do this. I'll give you guys real basic tips. Number one, you got to be authentically you. So if you're on social media right now and your profile picture is an icon or a picture that is not your face, you need to change that. People want to know who you are. Your authenticity and how you show up in the marketplace is going to attract people to you or repel them. You are your brand. And trust me, losing the wrong client is a blessing in disguise, because they're going to take up space for all the good people and the right clients that you can work with. All right. And so a lot of people will ask me, I'm going to just roll out a bunch of stuff, Tom. I hope you don't mind. All right. So a lot of people will ask, well, what do you do? What do you post? Here's the deal. People want to get to know you. So you can't show up on Facebook once every 2 weeks and then feel like this is going to work for you. Like I said before, success takes consistency. They got to get to know you. You got to show up all the time here. We be like hanging out here. So I want people to feel like when somebody asks them, how do you know Tom? They're going to be like, well, we went to Facebook together, because this is where we hang out. So the first decision to be made is, one, do you want to build on Facebook? If you want to build on Facebook, you got to be here. I will tell you the bad part about that is you're going to have to make yourself front and center and put yourself in the spotlight. And in doing so, you're going to open yourself up for criticism. That's the hard part. You won't have to cold call and you don't have to hear no, but people are going to think, or you're going to think, people are going to think, who is she? who does she think she is? And people probably, sometimes they say that to you and it sucks, but it happens. So you might lose some friends. It's okay. You're going to make some money. So it all works out in the end. But you have to be willing to show up here and like be vulnerable and invite people into your life. The great thing is you get to pick and choose what you share on social. So if you don't want to show your kids, don't show your kids. I show my kids. If you go to my Facebook, you'll know, one, I have kids. Two, I live in a historic home. I'm married. I love hip hop. What else do you know? Where we go to eat, what we do on the weekends. And then also, I get online and educate about mortgages. My mom hates it when I go online live because I tend to curse a little bit. She doesn't like it, but my feeling is my clientele is going to curse a little bit too. If you don't, probably not a good match, anyways. So you got to be consistent. You got to actually want to be on social. And then what you want to do is you want to it's like doing in-person networking, but online. So you're
Yeah.
not pitching everybody. Please do not show up in their private messages and tell them, hey, I'm a mortgage professional, blah, 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 blah. You are shaking hands and kissing babies. And so you're just doing this online. So my day looks like this. I get up, I grab a cup of coffee, I sit in my bed for about an hour, I answer my emails, and then I start scrolling through Facebook. Oh, another thing, you got to get over the whole idea that like successful people don't hang out on Facebook, because I know a while ago, if you're kind of old school mindset, you might think like this is a waste of time. I'm telling you, I doubled my production. My only strategy is hanging out on Facebook. And so like I go up to stories and I'm like, hey, what's everybody like? What's up in Facebook land here? So I'm going up in stories, I'm talking with people, having conversations, just networking online.
Networking. Yeah.
And then I go in Facebook groups. I had somebody who's like, what do you do? And I'm like, I go in Facebook groups. I love Facebook groups. And he's like, why? I'm like, one, I can find my ideal client real easy. I'm
Yeah.
like, short-term rental, I'm in short-term rental. I niche down into investor-centric products, debt service, fix and flip. Where are they hanging out? Short-term rental, real estate investment groups. Yeah, you could do this with realtors. If you like making friends with realtors, I'm real bad at making friends, and it sounds so bad. I'm real bad at making friends. So I don't target realtors. I target borrowers, so it's a little bit easier for me. But you go into these groups, your ideal client is there. I told somebody, go in there and make some friends. And he said, I don't know what I'm supposed to post. And I was like, oh, I don't post anything in groups. Like that's weird. But what
Yeah.
I will do is someone's like, hey, I just launched this new short-term rental. And I'm like, oh my God, congratulations. I love it. Start talking to them. Because
Yeah.
what happens, one of two things will happen. You build a strong enough relationship in these groups, people are going to reach out to you and ask to become friends. Yay. Or number two, they might not, but you can go ask to be friends. If you're like me, I get a ton of friend requests. I don't approve anybody because I'm like, what are you trying to sell me? Like, decline. If I go to your Facebook and all I see is like pitch central, you're an automatic decline. So you don't want that on your Facebook. So, but you want them to recognize your name. So, like, if we've built a relationship in a Facebook group and then I go add you and you see my name, you're like, oh, we talked. Okay, approve. Okay. Yay. Now we be talking. We're connected. You're in my algorithm.
Yeah.
This is the key. You got to get them in your algorithm, because then they're going to get to know you. And then you're like, hey, let me teach you about debt service. Teach about debt service. Like, ooh, know, like, trust. Now you're building that trust factor because you're becoming an expert by teaching them. Okay. I'll give you like my special. I'm trying to rip out as much stuff I can give you guys in 10 minutes. My special trick is something called social proof. If you can master this, this is the most brilliant piece of marketing ever known to man. And how it works is it's third party validation that you are the expert. So you're in a group. A lot of times, what I'll do is I'll take a client. If I'm brand new to the group and like I have an ideal client that would be a good fit in that group,
Yeah.
and maybe I've helped them before, I'm like, hey, do me a favor. I'm going to add you to this group because you can be my third party reference. And they know I'm going to tag you, or I'm going to send this to you. You're going to give me reviews in this one. So I'll put them in the group. And then when somebody's like, hey, I need a lender, of course you need to pop in like, hey, I can help you. But even better, you want to take that post and you're going to forward it to a past client in that group. And you're going to say, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you like give me a shout out here?
Yeah.
Because that third party validation is so
It's
much
huge.
more Yes. So you do this over time. At first, it'd be like maybe one person's like, yeah, I use Paige, right? And it's like, oh, okay. You do this enough, and I'm telling you, this is where all my clients come from. It's going to be like 5 people long. You have to use Paige. You have to use Paige. Oh, somebody says somebody else. Who cares? Paige, 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 Paige. And they're like, I think I have to use you because apparently everybody is commenting that you've helped them, right?
Yep.
I don't even have to say anything. They're like, I
Yeah.
got to use you. And it works for the original poster, but even better, it works for there's hundreds, maybe thousands of people in that group seeing your name repeated over and over and over and over and over. And if you don't like to hear the word no, if you don't like to be rejected, trust me, this is the best one because people reach out to you. By the time they reach out to you, they've already decided that they're working with me. They do not price shop me. I mean, I always do really well by them, but I never lose somebody to price. The only person I think I lost to price this year, maybe one, was a referral from somebody that didn't even know me. Right. So she didn't really pick me, but I'm telling you, by the time they get to you and they're like, hey, they have decided they're working with you, they're the best clients ever. And then they become referral sources. And then you're like, we play in this game. I'm gonna forward this thing to you. You know the deal. You don't even have to ask them anymore. They just become in the habit of referring you. Every post they see,
I love
they
it.
refer you.
Love it. And I think what Paige is hitting on here, and she's done a great job explaining it, it's being authentic, right? If you know, like I would say you said this, but it's really the truth. Like, oh, how are you and Paige? How do you guys know each other? Oh, we met on Facebook. Like, yeah, we've actually hung out with my wife in different
Yeah.
states. We've talked occasionally, but it really, you do get to learn the character of somebody if they're being authentic. And that's the one thing with consistency, you can't fake authenticity, right? If you're consistent with it over time, there's going to be days where, and this isn't a call out for you, like, but there's days to where you're pissed about something. You're going to share it because it's
Mhm.
you. You're authentic. You're happy about something. It's you. You're going to share it. And it's like
You've
always,
been
you
seeing
people
my
know what
posts, and
they're
I'm like,
getting.
let me
At the
rail
end of
on
the
the
day,
world.
as you mentioned, from a perspective of somebody who doesn't, it's networking. It's networking in 2023 and beyond. Our network, I can't fly. And you live in what state again? You live in,
California.
yeah. I mean, we live in Minnesota. People live all over the country. Your clients are everywhere. You have to be able to be relatable. And it doesn't matter if you're not relatable to somebody who doesn't like you, because Paige hit it on the head. If they don't like you, you probably don't like them anyways. And it's not everybody's meant to work together. But there are a ton of people that know, like, and trust Paige, which is why she is a successful mortgage broker. And really, I hope you guys dive into this and follow what she's saying. If you're trying to grow your business and you're sitting on things of like, oh, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, stop thinking and start doing, right? Get on there and share. You had a success story in the last week. Let's share about it. Or I could say the one that sticks out to my head for you, you were talking about a group in California that somebody was giving advice that wasn't even a professional. And it's like, well, wait a minute, you're taking advice from these. What you're doing is educating, though, your community. It seemed like a little bit of a rant, and it was, but for
I
good
am really
purpose,
ranty.
right? I mean, it was for good purpose because what you're saying is, you know what? I'm a licensed professional with experience in doing this, and I'm here to help. And it shows. And that's why, my opinion, why you're successful and a bright light in our industry is always willing to, you know, I was shocked that you are uncomfortable in social settings. I never would have guessed that because you don't appear that way. And a lot of people, with behind social media, great. Like she said, some people might not like you. They may fire shots at you. Who cares? Right? At the end of the day, do you take care of your family by what you do? Yes. It's like that's what's important. So break through the fear, be authentic, give Paige a follow if you're looking to get more information on how she does it. All of us that are a part of AIME, in my opinion, the biggest attribute we have is we're open to sharing and collaboration, right? So watch. I see what she does. There's things to where I'll say probably getting a little too off topic, but there was something about how much men are on panels compared to women. Like I like the way you said it. You know what it did? It raised awareness. Like, wow,
Mhm.
okay. Even for me, is it cognizant or is it just the way that things have been? And it's always good to be able to have somebody that's brave enough to speak up, but in a kind manner to where really you just want to see things better for everybody around you. And I really appreciate that about you, Paige. So thank you. Thank you for being here. I do have one last question.
Yeah.
What does niche down mean? I think you went over it, but I
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
quite
yeah, yeah.
understand it. Explain it
Yeah.
to me.
So, one, you gotta like, well, you don't say you gotta. There's many paths to do this, but in my opinion, what's really helped is I've focused on investor centric financing, fixed and flip debt service. That's all I talk about. Like, I don't talk about Fannie Freddie loans. You
Yeah,
What you put out is what you're going to attract. So be real clear about what loans you want to do, and that's where you want to focus. If you're in the non-QM space, Facebook is a great marketing tool because that's going to open you up nationwide on
yeah,
Facebook, but really worldwide. And when you're in that business purposes, our licensing as it isn't as restrictive. And so those two things match up really well. So you're matching your marketing preference, how I'm doing on Facebook, opens up
yep,
my demographic. I only have a license in a couple of places traditionally, but I'm opened up license wise. But I'm real specific about who I am working with. It's
yeah.
investors that are doing fix and flip and debt service. That's it. Just that is
I
all I
love it.
talk about.
Love it. It makes sense. I've seen people do it with, you see a lot of originators do it with VA. You
Yeah.
see some that are doing it like you are in the non QM
Yep.
space. You see some like even your pal Chris that does it with hard money.
Yep.
Find a niche. I like the saying of it niche down, niche down, however you want to put it. But the reality is, find something that people are going to remember and think of you about. If it's just mortgages, it's very broad, right? Like, well, maybe I needed a reverse mortgage. Am I going to call Paige? Maybe not, because that's not her niche. Now,
Yeah.
still probably she has a good referral for you because she's well connected. But the point is, I really like it. Be authentic, find your niche, dive all in, make sure that you're sharing the same message, and don't be scared.
Yeah.
Awesome. With that, we're going to wrap. So, Paige, greatly appreciate you being here. Thank you for all of those that tuned in today for our AIM, Grow, and Get It series. You can catch some of our past episodes on our YouTube page at AIM National. Lots of good episodes. Quick, this one ran a little longer, but it's fun talking with Paige. How could we not? So, a quick 10, 12 minutes, you're going to get some good info. Take it out to the workplace, dominate your market. We'll be live in the Brokers Are Better page every Monday, noon Eastern. I hope you all go out and grow and get it and have an amazing week. Paige, thank you so much. I appreciate you greatly.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.